Hey folks, welcome to TK and Mary's Outdoor Adventures on our 2025 cabin build. So those of you that have been following us on Facebook know that we've been working on this for about a week and a half. The problem that I ran into, and this is something they don't tell you on YouTube, is when you're out in the woods in the heat, it's hard to keep a battery charged. So my phone kept getting overheated. I probably need to upgrade some of my filming equipment, but that's probably not anywhere anytime soon. So phone cords were going out, things like that. I was trying to film each individual aspect of the build. However, it just didn't work out. I do have some footage of some of the things that we were able to do. So right off the bat, the first thing that I want to tell you is we decided to go 16 by 16 by 4 concrete blocks. Okay, this is not cinder blocks. This is concrete blocks. I did not feel like putting it in the ground offered me any stability whatsoever. The ground is very rocky for the first 2 or 3 inches. There's like old heavy gravel underneath this grass. So I wasn't worried about a whole lot of movement. So we got 16 by 16 by 4 holding up 6 by 6s. So this whole foundation is 6 by 6 and 2 by 6 treated lumber. For this 12 by 20, so this is 12 by 20 as you're seeing here, it only took me 3 6 by 6 12 footers. And I cut them at 4-foot lengths. And what I did, I cut them at 4-foot lengths, and then I put them out onto my concrete posts. Me and my good friend Jerry, we spent probably 2 days trying to level this foundation. Now, there's not much slope here. There's not much slope from right to left. However, it was just enough. And so what we did, we just tacked 2 by 6s onto the 6 by 6s. And then we ran string lines and everything like that to make sure it was level from right to left. And then we obviously had it front to back. One of the things that I want to tell you is if you're worried about the square of your building, always try to find the hypotenuse. So 20 by 12, the hypotenuse was 23.32 feet. So that's 23 feet and 4 inches. So this way to this way, we had 23.4. Well, the other way, we had 23.4.5. I think it's because the 6 by 6s were a little bit different size. So we're about to find out because the flooring is about to go down. So we're about to find out real quick how square we are. Okay, so what we did, we cut the 6 by 6s. And as you can see, the 2 by 6s are recessed into the 6 by 6s. And how we did that was just taking a circular saw. I set the depth at the thickness of a 2 by 6. And then I measured out the width of a 2 by 6. I then cut the 6 by 6 about 1.5 inches across, and then knocked out all the pieces, and you had this really nice channel, recessed channel for the 2 by 6 to lay into. Okay, this gives the building more stability because it's actually sitting on top of that 6 by 6. It's recessed in. And if you see down here on these corners, it's actually been done on both sides. So basically you have to roll it over and score it out. So basically the 2 by 6s each corner, nothing is hanging out. Nothing is hanging out. Everything is resting on a ledge of a 6 by 6. I just felt like that. Number one, it's aesthetically pleasing. Everything kind of flows into each other. It also offers more stability. Okay, so I've got my floor joist. I know you can't see it, and I'm real sorry about that, but we decided to go 24-inch centers. This is not a code building. This is not a how-to video. This is me and Mary building our cabin out in Southwest Arkansas. We decided to go 24-inch centers, 2 by 6 treated lumber across. We have joist hangers on both sides, all the way down. And then we also came through and we put cross supports. I don't really know the technical term for that, but cross supports at 4 and at 8. I was able to screw in every other board. Obviously, when you get to doing this right here, you can't really get a screw in there. I was able to get a nail gun on some of them, But something that I'd never saw anybody do, and I could be wrong, but I was sitting there thinking, if a joist hanger is good enough for a 12-foot piece of 2x6, well, it's got to be good enough for a 20-inch piece of 2x6 as just a cross support. So that's how we decided to get around the whole budding issue. So we've got a lot of joist hangers in here, and so if you know anything about joist hangers, there's 8 nails in a joist hanger, and so I felt like, well, 8 nails, galvanized nails, is better than 2 screws. But our joists all have joist hangers and either 3 or 3.5-inch screws. The 6x6s, these are 4-inch screws going in here, these big deck screws. Another thing I want to point out, this is called a ledger board, and it's just another way to support my joists. So you might look at that and not know it's just kind of sticking, but this runs the length of the building all the way down. And so it did a couple different things. It does give my joist support, but number 2, I was out here by myself. So I was able to put that up, screw it in, and I was able to lay my joists across, and it made it easier for one man to be able to put these joists in. So then we finished the foundation yesterday, and you're probably looking at this and thinking that this looks like a SpaceX experiment or something. This is called bubble foil insulation. Now, people, this may not be everybody's solution. I just want to tell you, the traditional method of insulating a floor is fiberglass or wool or something like that. Well, all these critters out here in these woods wants what you're going to put in there. So what I didn't want is to spend the money on the insulation and having to add more components to the flooring to hold the insulation just for rodents, squirrels, everything to take it out and take it out there in the woods. So I did a lot of research, and there's a guy on YouTube, Boss of the Swamp. I think he's now retired from YouTube, but he swears by this. He has multiple cabins in Michigan, New Hampshire, New York, and all up in much colder areas than what we experience here. And so over the years, he had done the regular old fiberglass, and then it was just a waste of money over and over and over. Well, this stuff is like a R16 as it's laid out. Now, there's lots of different ways you can use this. You can use this in walls. You can use this in ceiling, around other like appliances and things like that. So the thought process was, let's try this. I don't want insulation like thick R whatever it is, Pink Panther stuff in there. So we wanted to try this. I've seen a lot of people do this in cabins. It's not what I call cheap, but it's definitely more inexpensive. And what it does, now I'm not a scientist, it creates, and it's literally bubbles in here. It's like bubble wrap, but it's covered with foil, and it creates apparently like an air barrier, and so it keeps it from traveling up into your flooring. I felt like it was worth a try. And so being in a cabin like this, we're not living in it yet, but I want to be able to be comfortable in the summertime, comfortable in the wintertime. It doesn't get super cold here, but it probably gets freezing a few times a year. So we've also gone through here, and Mary did a really great job on these seams. And this is like HVAC aluminum foil tape. Now there is special tape for this stuff, but it's made of aluminum, so I'm assuming it could be the same thing. Basically, we tacked this on all of the floor joists and around the rim with a hammer stapler. It made our job so much easier. I started out with a hand stapler doing this right here. Man, loaded that hammer stapler, and we had this done in no time at all. This underneath here, I may put some skirting on it, so we can create a little bit of storage. But not, that's not right now. So come on back up here. So right here, we are going to put a deck. So this will be the deck. We're thinking somewhere between 3 and 4 foot, just enough to be able to sit down and enjoy a cup of coffee in the morning and watch birds and deer and all that stuff. So that will be coming, but for right now, we're focusing more on the actual cabin. Look at that already. That didn't take long, did it? So right now, we're about to go to the flooring, and this is Advantech 3/4 inch tongue and groove subfloor. It's not treated. From what I understand, if it's not directly exposed, it does not need to be treated. Now, if you had this in something that you didn't have, you had it directly exposed to the ground, you would need to have some sort of pressure treated or whatever. So I got 8 sheets here, and so the next video is going to be how we did the flooring, and then we're going to start framing up some walls here. I realize that this is probably not the most informational video that you could possibly do. There's a lot of things that we did that I'm probably not even thinking about here. Having the wood delivered out here in the middle of nowhere was absolutely key. And I just want to thank Davis Lumber out of Texarkana, Arkansas. I placed the lumber order on a Tuesday afternoon. They had it delivered with less than 24 hours, and we're like 40 miles away from them. They brought the equipment they needed. They dropped it right here where I needed it, and it was fantastic. And if you're in Southwest Arkansas, I would definitely recommend Davis Lumber. They've got multiple locations. I'm not getting paid by Davis Lumber. I was just really happy with the way that they did it. So right now, Mary and I are living in Tent City here, and it's not the most comfortable, but I just want to say, if you want to build a cabin, you can do this. I have never built anything close to this. Mary and I have done a few projects. We have done a lot of research. We've watched a lot. We've listened a lot. We've read a lot. But I want to make sure that this is coming across as you can do this. If you've got a small piece of land, an acre or two is all it takes. And if I can go through the cost and everything like that you might need to get started, but this is doable, guys. I don't have any equipment that the regular homeowner does not have. My good buddy Jerry is letting me borrow this right here. This is the only thing that I didn't really have. I've got pretty much everything else. I've got a lot of Harbor Freight tools. So this cabin's going to be built by Craftsman and Harbor Freight. Say what you will, but it's doing great so far. And you know what? When I get it done and it's still working, then I'll have the last laugh. But we're out here working really hard, and everything's going really well. So the next video will be looking for flooring tips, and we're going to be framing up our walls for the very first time. So fingers crossed. But everything's going great. We'll see you later.